Welcome to Physics 1060 Lab 5 Hints. So in Lab 5 we're trying to design a sundial, and really this is going to be pretty easy. If we have a ruler and a protractor, you're just going to need the scissors and the some sort of cardstock. A file folder works, and tape or a stapler. Read through the theory section, and the procedure is really just taking what's on page 3 and making it. You might have to change it a little bit for your location, which we'll get to in just a second. And as you're making it, if you have problems, if you have it set up and you know it's 9 a.m. and you're getting a shadow that's showing 3 p.m., then you know that you've put something backwards, you have it oriented wrong or whatever. So in the procedure, I'm just telling you to think a little bit about what you're doing as you're making the measurements. So while you're working on your sundial, you could just print this out and use it if you're in the Treasure Valley. If you're not in the Treasure Valley, you might need to make some changes. So figure out what your latitude is, and you can use Google Earth, or there's lots of web tools. Just look up latitude and longitude of your city, and lots of things will pop up. But this is the angle here that's most important on a sundial. So going to the store and buying a decorative sundial for your garden or something like that, you need to make sure that you get your gnomon that's got the right angle. So Napa is at 43.5 degrees, so I've drawn this one with an exact 43.5 degrees. If you're, say in Florida and you're only at, say, 35 degrees, then you're going to have to measure this angle, and your gnomon might be a smaller angle here. Look carefully at this picture to show how everything's going to be drawn. So I have here drawn this baseline. 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. should be the baseline of your sundial. Then I want you to use a protractor and draw in at the 15-degree marks for every hour of the day, and divide the afternoon and the morning up into equal segments and divide and show the angles. So use a protractor to make them 15 degrees apart. Label them. So if this is 6 a.m., you'd have a 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, noon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When you have your gnomon, there's a triangle here that you need to be very careful at. The tip of your gnomon does not go at this place. It goes down at the bottom so that the tall edge is above 12 noon. This is the edge that's going to create the shadow. And you don't need this cut out, but I put it because sometimes on here you'll see two different shadows, and if you see one that's perfectly straight and one of them that's got a little notch in it, you know that you want to use the shadow that has the perfectly straight edge to record your time. So in the questions portions, I want you to ask the questions, think about it. If you have some issues with it, do not hesitate to post something in the discussion board, and I'll try to answer it. The only real mathematical question in here is question number 3. And what I really want you to do is figure out, depending on how far east and west is, what's the difference in solar noon? And I would make an assumption like, well, the United States is about 2,400 miles across. You could say 3,000 or figure out the exact number, but 2,400 is really nice because we have 4 time zones. So that would mean that each time zone's about 600 miles across. If it's 600 miles across and 600 miles corresponds to 60 minutes, you know that every 10 miles is about a minute. You can use those numbers if you want to, just kind of work it out and think through it and write some things out, or you can choose your own numbers. Number 4, I really would like you to do over the course of a day, but I know some of you work and it's difficult. You might need to do it over several days to get all these times filled in. That's okay, as long as you do it within a couple of days of each other. They're not going to change very much. And again, take this sheet. Be sure and on each of these questions write complete sentences, expand a little bit. I don't want 1 or 2 word answers. I want you to think about it. If there's not enough space, feel free to type it up on another sheet of paper and turn that in. and then also take a picture of your sundial and put those together in a single PDF and submit it in Angel.